My name is James, and welcome to Mirror Domains. Today I want to talk about directing as it pertains to my ranking criteria for when I review movies. As you know, I give directing a possible 2 points that will contribute to the larger score out of 10. Now this category works a little bit different than the other ones, so let me explain. As you know, I traditionally move in increments of 0.5, starting with 0 being bad and then 2 for being good. But this time around, I look at it as 4 possible things that I attribute to good directing. Okay, let's look at the first 2. Now, I ask myself these questions, and they're usually yes or no. And if I give yes, then it's a 0.5. If it's no, I don't give that 0.5. So let's look at the first one. Did the director get good acting performances out of the actors? And even if an acting presentation is serviceable, I will award the point. So if it's serviceable or good, then I will give 0.5. So if you want to know more about acting, look in the cards, look in the playlist for my ranking criteria, look up acting, and I'll describe everything that there is to know about acting as I rank it for my criteria. Okay, the second one. Now, I follow a lot of movie news. I follow a lot of production notes, release schedules, casting news, and for the most part, I'm pretty plugged in with what's going on with big movie productions. So the second category that I look at is, did it give the impression that the director had a good handle on things, on the technical aspects? So I look at cinematography as one of those. The score, sound design is one of those. Shot selection, production design, lighting, those kinds of things. Does it look like all of that was handled pretty well? And that stuff shows. It shows when you're like, wow, that production design was really good. Wow, that cinematography was really good. Then I will give a 0.5 for the technical aspects of filmmaking. Now, these other two, a lot of people confuse. A lot of people like to conflate them. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about pacing and I'm talking about tone. And I do need to make a distinction between the two here because they are different and this is how I perceive them. Let's talk about pacing to begin with. The first 0.5 on this side. Pacing, we all know, is when a movie just gets boring. Or, it's just kind of like, hey, there's a long period of drama here. I just wish it would have been a little bit tighter. You will hear me say all the time, I wish they would have cut out 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and it just would have felt a little bit tighter. So that's what I mean by pacing. And if it's good pacing, it's tight, it feels like, regardless of the length of the film, it feels like it just flies by, then it has good pacing. Usually, you'll have the nice build up to the climax. And as I said, it's regardless of the time because it could be a 90-minute movie and it's well paced. And it could be Lord of the Rings, 3 hours and it's just extremely well paced. So, yeah, I'm looking at those factors when I'm looking at pacing. And if it's got good pacing, that's another 0.5 for the director. Now, where people confuse that with tone is that they feel like it's sort of the same when you're thinking about how does it make you feel. Okay, pacing can make you feel bored, but where tone is different, I describe it more like this. Okay, you have a scene that makes you feel happy, you feel excited for something, and then you feel sad. Happy, sad, which is fine, you can do that in a movie, but if it fluctuates a little too rapidly, then that tone just feels off. It feels like it's missing beats. I will attribute editing to a movie a lot in the sense of music. Hey, you're on a beat here. You got a rhythm. It's going nicely. And then all of a sudden it just goes zip. And you're like, what's going on here? You just feel confused. That's when I feel like the tone is out of place. And if it's out of place, then I don't award 0.5 for the tone. Okay, so those are the 4 categories that I look at when I'm assessing directing for my movie reviews. If you want to see how other categories are assessed, look in the cards and it'll give you a playlist where I'll talk about the acting, the cinematography, and the score, and the watchable factor, and story. Alright, if you like what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe!